Hey guys, it's Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and I'm bringing you the weekly reading for November 28th through December 4th. So, moving right along to the end of the year, and I apologize if the sun's in my eyes a little bit. The days are getting quite short. It's not even 3 o'clock yet, and the sun's already pretty low in the sky, so yeah, not too much daylight left. Okay, so before we get to the reading, let's go ahead and pull out the stone that I've been carrying around. This particular stone, I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it might be raw hematite, but I found it while my boyfriend and I were hiking through Lake Jennings here in San Diego, and I always collect, like little rocks and stuff from my various travels. But it's, maybe you guys know what this is. It's kind of a grayish black. And it's got these like little sparkles in it, so maybe it's got like gold or pyrite or something in it to give it that sparkle. But I don't know, it really attracted me, and I've been happily carrying it around. For the reading today, the cards that I'm going to be using is the Delos Tarot, and this is a deck that I got off of Etsy, and it is just so cute. It is Rider-Waite based, but the images are just adorable, but it does give a very good reading, so that's why I'm going to be using it today. These are the backs of the cards, and I'm just going to put in the intention that anybody who comes across this will get a healing message, and it's for the good of all. So if something resonates with you, then excelente. So I'm going to be pulling out a card for Monday and Tuesday, one for Wednesday and Thursday, and one for Friday through the weekend. Okay, if you would like to get a one-on-one reading with me, either via Viber or email or anything like that, then definitely check out my webpage and my Instagram and my Etsy and all of that good stuff in the information box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull out a card for Monday and Tuesday. Alright, looks like we actually have two cards for Monday, Tuesday, so that would be the 28th and 29th. Okay, one for Wednesday. Got one. These cards are coming out easily. I like it. It's moving right along. And then one for Friday through the weekend. Excellent. Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups and the Chariot, which is interesting, where, it seems like you are losing one thing, but then moving forward in a brand new direction, or the thing that you're losing is helping you to move forward, is actually what I'm trying to say. So whether it's a feeling that you have, a relationship that's just no longer serving you, it doesn't vibe with you, it's not on the same wavelength as you, that is going to be pushed aside. What's going with your frequency is things that don't necessarily go along with that are going to start falling away. And I've been hearing this message a lot with various readers on YouTube. So it feels like this relationship that you have, whether it could be a romantic relationship, it could be a relationship with a boss, a friend, coworker, mother, father, type of relationship, it's going to fall away, just because it's no longer a part of what you need for your path. And so here we have this Chariot. So once that does fall away, whether it falls away naturally or it's something that you had happen yourself, like you made it happen, is definitely going to help propel you forward into your highest good, what you actually need. Okay, so beautiful message for Monday and Tuesday. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, here we have the Knight of Wands. So now that we're moving in this new direction, now we have this, somebody's going to be coming along who's going to help us along in our new journey, or maybe it's a journey that we had planned, or something that you had already thought of doing, but it hasn't been put into motion yet. This person is going to come along and help you. So this person could be a coworker, it could be a friend, it could be your aunt who calls up or something like that, but definitely this person is coming by to help. Okay, so Friday through the weekend, then we have the Five of Wands. And so with any new direction, any new change that comes into your life, rarely is it ever happens seamlessly. So there's going to be conflicts that arise, but It's only there to make your determination and your will that much stronger, so that you will be more determined to get done what it is you need to get done. You know, sometimes when things are just so easy, although that's kind of how we want things to be, when the path is just golden and, you know, ready for us to take it, the prize is usually not that sweet. However, if we are faced with challenges that we overcame, and you know, it's like, how do I want to put it? At the end of a grueling race, let's say you're running a mile and you're at the last 200 meters of the race, you know, it may feel like every fiber in your body wants to give up. It may feel like your lungs are on fire, you know, but once you cross that finish line, you get that first place. There is nothing sweeter than that victory. It's so much better than if somebody just came by and said, hey, do you want a first place trophy? Get what I'm saying? Normally I pull an oracle card for like an energy for the week, but what I wanted to do today is actually use one of my stones again. So this is an egg-shaped stone. This is white agate. Actually, I got this at Thanksgiving yesterday when I was at my aunt's house. She had on display a bunch of things from my other aunt who passed away in June, and she was like, hey, if you guys want any of her things, you know, just take you know, these little knickknacks, and then the rest were going to be going to the AMVETS. So I was very drawn to my aunt's egg, and actually I grabbed one of her other eggs. She had a thing for, you know, eggs and everything kind of Asian-y and things like that. But what I want to do is just kind of feel the energy off of this to kind of give us a message for the week. Okay. Okay, what I'm getting off of this is, again, just standing in the face of adversity. It may feel like that new path that you are going on, although it's something that you really want to do, it's at least a start in the direction that you want to go. There may be people who don't agree with you, and it may be people that you love. And, you know, you don't want to hurt those people, but at the same time, you have to do what's best for you. And so although the adversity may not be a big, huge, ugly monster, it might be coming from a place of love where these people might be objecting to what it is that you want to do. And you have to let them know with love and with respect that they need to respect what your passions are. And that, you know, whatever they choose to do, you would love them regardless, and that's all you ask in return. So that's kind of what I'm getting the adversity for this week. Okay, so very interesting message from my little egg. I'm going to be taking you into my backyard, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking directly at the camera. The sun is like right behind the camera lens. It's like right in my eyes. So I was a little sidelined this week, at least for a few days, because I had some knee injuries, but I actually want to talk to you about that. So what to do when you are sidelined? Do you sit on your butt, or what do you do? So I will get to you guys in just a second. Hey guys, we're in my backyard. So like I said before we came over here, I was just sidelined for a few days because of my knee. So I've had knee problems on and off, mostly, not really in high school, but mostly since college. In college, I changed up my events, and I had done the long jump as a NC2A athlete, along with the 100 meters, because I was a sprinter mainly, and then I was a sprinter and a jumper when I was in college, and that's when my knee and hip problems started, was slamming my foot into that takeoff board into the pit. So I have to be very careful with my knees, and I know there are people that suffer from knee problems who weren't athletes. You know, it's just from the everyday, you know, humdrum of, you know, bending down, picking things up, and, you know, I mean, there are knees, they're joints, they're meant to be used. So I just kind of want to give you some of my tips, what I do when I'm sidelined with my knee, because obviously I'm not just going to lay in bed like all day long. That's not feasible, especially since I'm a teacher and the school that I work at has 4 levels to the school. It's an indoor school. And so you're constantly going up and down the stairs, so there's no way, that I can just call in sick forever. Be like, oh, I'm sorry, my knee hurts, I can't, do my job. So, what I do, as soon as I have knee pain, and I'll explain kind of what I did to myself, because what's called my Q angle, my quadricep angle, is off by 30 degrees, so which they said I was like deformed, but maybe I'm deformed in a good way because I was a damn fast runner. But it's the angle of your hip to your femur, and the angle that it hits your knee, and so mine is off slightly, which kind of puts everything at a weird angle, so I'm more prone to like knee and hip injuries and things like that. And most girls are, because our hips are wider, so it puts our knees at an increased risk, more than, let's say, men. Okay, so I was sitting in lotus pose, or cross-legged, or the more inappropriate word, Indian style. So I was meditating for quite some time, and that puts an added stress on the cruciate ligament of the knee, which is kind of deep within the knee. It almost feels like you feel the pain at the back of your knee when it's actually kind of right in the middle inside your knee. And I was in that pose for too long, which overstretches the ligament. Ligaments should be tight because they keep your knees solid together, so they're not like moving all over the place. And so by overstretching it, it was painful. So that meant that whenever I flexed my hamstring, meaning if you were to bring your heel to your butt, it was quite painful to lift my knee and everything like that. So I didn't just sit on my butt, but I definitely was still moving around the house. I was just making sure to keep my legs stiff. So doing that for a little while. And then what I wanted to tell you guys, ice. There is, you want to do something called RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation. So obviously resting the joint, so keeping the joint immobile, trying to keep it as locked as possible, going up and down the stairs. And then I was icing, so 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, if you have an ice pack in your house, or just a frozen bag of peas, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. And then you want to follow that up with heat. So I have this rice bag here, so it's just a little like bag filled with rice, and you just put it into the microwave for like a minute or so, maybe a couple of minutes, and then you put that on, until it goes cold, and then, it's same thing, like 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. The reason people do heat and ice is ice takes away the swelling, heat makes the blood come to the surface, so it's kind of doing this internal, like pushing the blood down, pushing the blood up, pushing the blood down, pushing the blood up, so that you can get circulation to the injured part of your body, thereby having the body heal itself. And then I like to mix in a little bit of my woo-woo as well. So I have my athlete's logical side, and, well, not to say this is illogical, but I'd say it's more in the ether. So I have my earth-centered things that I do, and then I have my, in the ethers centered thing that I do. So I had this kind of blue-green candle, and I had my Apache tear. I placed my Apache tear on my knee, and then I lit my candle, and I called in Archangel Raphael, and I also do a bit of Reiki, so I had my hands, kind of on either side of my knee, and I just went into a meditation and imagined that there was blue light emanating from my knee. The blue light turned into white light, and the white light then spread throughout my whole body. I was imagining, light coming from my hands and healing my knee. And actually I would say about 3 hours later, my knee was feeling a lot better. Maybe it's, mind over matter, but whatever is helping helps, And then today I went in for some acupuncture, and I would say my knee is about 99% better. I also do something called active rest, which I will show you in a second. Okay, so I just want to show you guys the lower half just so you guys can see what I've been doing. So once, you know, I did ice and heat and things like that, it started to feel a little bit better. So what I started off by doing was first just trying to raise my knee. So using my hip flexor to try and raise my knee. Because I know that for the first part, if I tried to engage my hamstring by pulling my leg backward, it was going to cause me pain. So I wanted to do things that didn't cause me pain, but I did want to strengthen it up a little bit. Okay, so I just used my hip flexor, you know, just kind of keeping this kind of just dangling here, you know, so it was nice and loose, but just using the hip flexor to bring the knee up. Okay, so I was just doing that at first until I felt fatigue in the hip, and I do that kind of on and off throughout the day. Then when I put pressure on it and I go down engaging the quadricep, then I realized I could do a little bit of squatting. So I just went down as far as I could, you know, and if I could go this deep, that was great. And I was just trying to hold it. So practicing holding it, coming up. So I go down, maybe hold it for like a 10 count, come back up slowly. No jerky movements, especially when you have a knee injury. And by doing this, you are strengthening the muscles in the hip, the quad, the hamstring, so that it is pulling that knee back into alignment. Because you want these muscles as strong as possible so you don't re-injure your knee in the future. Okay, so I just, again, 10 seconds hold and came back up, and I realized that felt okay. Okay, next thing I did was, if going down like this caused me pain, then I kept my knee straight. And I was just practicing deep, straight-legged lunges. Okay, I'd come back up, deep, straight-legged lunge, back up. Okay, and again, this is my injured knee, so I was keeping this as straight as possible. Once I felt like I could bend it, then I went down into the same 10-second hold. And then back up. And I would hold it for 10 seconds and come back up. Then when that started to feel much better, especially like after today, it's like acupuncture is just awesome. You know, it's definitely 99% better. Like I couldn't do this earlier. So if I can do now, heel to butt, this is good. Before I could do that, I was not bending my knee, but I was just doing leg swings. Okay, and that's just a good stretcher exercise. So definitely hold on to something, you know, kind of looks like I'm doing some sort of jazz thing right now. But that's what I did. It's just a few exercises just to keep you off the couch. You know, obviously you can do upper body and things like that, keep your body engaged, but you want to do some active work too, to work the injured muscle. You want as much blood flow to that area as possible. But if anything is causing you acute pain, meaning like somebody's driving a knife into something, that's when you stop. If it's just kind of a dull, achy, but it starts to go away once you've built up some heat, your pulse has gone up and things like that, then that's okay. But and definitely consult a doctor as well, you know, before taking anybody's advice. So that's it from me, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'm so glad that I can do this right now. This is great. But I'm definitely going to take it easy. You know, I'm not going to go, you know, start doing whatever, playing football or something like that, or doing soccer or something, you know, on my knee. So I will take it easy, but I'm definitely going to do more leg-centered exercises in the gym, because I realize that with an injury like this, it's because I haven't worked my leg muscles as much as I should, especially for me, in order to keep my knees in line. So that's just something I got to work on. So hopefully this has helped you guys, and I'll see you guys back out front. All right, catch you later. And we're back. So hopefully that was helpful to you. I know that none of us are without injury in our lives, and I have experienced plenty of injuries. You know, I was an athlete all throughout high school. I was a very active child. I was an NC2A athlete. I've never really stopped being an athlete, so I've had every injury in the book. You know, I've had both hamstrings pulled, one quad torn. I've had, you know, tendonitis in my knees. I've had hip problems. I've pulled my groin muscle more times than I can count. I've had lower back problems. I've sprained so many things. I've broken a wrist. You know, I'm like a walking anatomy project. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and I will catch you guys next week. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.